Today we are making a very buttery flaky croissant. Hello, welcome and welcome back again to my channel. Today's video I'm going to be showing you how to make your very best homemade croissant with a very easy step to achieving the very best croissant at home, and the outcome super flaky, buttery, and it's delicious. Alright, so keep watching. Please do not forget to like the video, subscribe, and please do not forget to share. And I'm going to start by sifting my flour, and sift your flour into a large mixing bowl. You can use bread flour or you can use all-purpose flour. After sifting the flour, I've gone in with some granulated sugar, salt, and my instant yeast, and I will just mix that together to combine. And once that is nice and well combined, I'm going to add my milk. And for we to achieve the very best or the perfect texture we're looking for, we are using cold milk. Every ingredient we're going to be using are cold, most especially the liquid. So make sure they are cold or room temperature. And this is because we don't want the dough to melt. And this is because for croissant, we need the dough to be hard and thick. We need them firm, not like that of bread or a donut. We need it to be very firm. Alright, so for that reason you need room temperature for all the ingredients, and as for the milk, you can use room temperature or from the fridge. Alright, so once you add the milk, you want to mix that to combine, and once it has formed into a dough, go ahead and scrape and then transfer to a clean work surface. Now I'm just going to knead, and if you feel that this is a little bit soft, you can sprinkle with some flour. So that's what I just did, because we don't want the dough for croissants to be very soft. We need it hard. And once you sprinkle with some flour, you want to just knead that for about a minute or until the dry ingredients are no more there. And then we will go in with a little bit of cold butter, and we are going to knead this for about 15 to 20 minutes or until the dough is nice, fine, smooth, and elastic. So this is what we are going for. And once we have achieved that perfect dough, we are going to bring this together, form into a ball shape, and then I will grease my bowl with a little bit of butter, and then transfer the dough into your slightly greased bowl. And we are going to cover this with a plastic wrap and then place this in the fridge, and not at room temperature. So this is because we want the dough to be cold, and like I said earlier, we don't want the dough to be warm, and keeping this warm at room temperature is going to give us that extremely soft dough, and that's not what we want for the croissant. Alright, so I made that cut on the dough. That's because I don't want it to extra expand or overly expand in the fridge. So just to control the expansion, so that's it. And once you make that cut on the dough, or you can just cover the dough without making the cut, but just keep your eyes on the dough, and then cover with a plastic wrap and transfer to your fridge and allow it stay for just 30 to 40 minutes. And after 30 to 40 minutes, I will bring out the dough and then sprinkle with some flour and roll the dough and fold into this very shape you're seeing right now on your screen. And once you have achieved this, now cover with a plastic wrap again, and we are going to place this in the fridge, or you can place this in your freezer. So if you're going to leave this in the fridge, it might take like 4 hours in the fridge for it to be ready for what you're going to be using it for next. But if you're going to leave this in the freezer, it will take like an hour for it to be very cold and stiff for what we need it for. So for me, I'm going to leave it in the freezer for 1 hour. And after about 20 minutes to bring out the dough from the freezer, I'll then grab my butter. This is cold, strong, or hard butter. So bring it straight from the fridge. You want to cut them and then place them on a parchment paper, and we are going to roll this out. You're going to place them on a parchment paper, then place another parchment paper on the top, just like you're seeing right now on your screen. And once you have placed the parchment paper on the top of your butter, go ahead and roll it out with a rolling pin, just like you're seeing on your screen. First, you want to gently break the butter and then roll it out a little bit, just like this. And right now, just like you see me do on the screen, I'm going to create a shape like a square shape, So you want to bring every angle together, just like this, and then continue to roll this as you're shaping it. Just shape into that square shape, and once you have achieved that, fold the edges, just the end edges of the parchment paper, the end part of the parchment paper, just like you're seeing right now. So fold that together to get the perfect square shape we're looking for, and then flip this over just like this, and that's what we're going for. This is what we're looking for, and this is ready. Make sure it's well flattened, and you have this. And once we're done with this, we are going to place it in the freezer together with the dough, and that is going to rest for 20 minutes in the freezer. And that's for the dough. This is an hour later. So now bring out the dough and sprinkle your surface with some flour and just a little bit of flour, and we are going to flatten this. Just roll it out until everything is nice and well flattened. And for croissant, as you roll out the dough, you want to always, sprinkle with some flour, just a little bit of flour, and then dust it off with your palm, and then continue to roll this. And this will ensure that you have a perfect thick dough for this recipe. All right, so flatten this a little bit, just like this. And you want to take out the butter and then place it in the middle of your dough. And while you're rolling out the dough, all you want to have in your mind is to get that two end part to be able to cover your butter, just like this, like you're seeing right now on your screen. And once you place the butter in the middle, now cover with the two end parts and then roll it out gently. This is to distribute the butter all over the dough. You want to roll the butter together with the dough. We want the butter to get into every angle of the dough. So now go ahead and flatten this, and as you roll, go ahead and sprinkle with just a little bit of flour. And do not waste too much time, because we don't want the butter to melt and we don't want the dough to be soft. So once you roll into this very flat, just a little bit flat and long, now go ahead and fold this. And this is to create that flaky buttery layer. So we're going to fold this just like this, and then we will cover again with a plastic wrap. And for me, I'm going to place this in my freezer for 1 hour. But if you're going to put this in the fridge, it's going to take like 3 to 2 hours. Just say 2 to 3 hours before you get that cold, stiff dough. All we need is for the dough to be cold, for the butter not to melt, and for the dough and the butter to come together, because we don't want them to melt. And after an hour, just bring out the dough, sprinkle with some flour, and then roll it out again, just like this, and then fold. So once I roll this out, I'm going to fold this just like this, and then first you want to bring the two ends into the middle, fold this into the middle and that into the middle, and then pull the two together just like this. And again, I'm going to cover with a plastic wrap and return to my fridge for 40 minutes. And after 40 minutes, I will bring the dough out again and then re-roll it, fold again, and then return it back to my fridge. And that third rolling I did behind the camera, because I don't want this video to be too long. And this is the fourth rolling I'm going to be doing. So once you bring it out from the fridge, once you return the third rolling, just allow it stay for another 30 minutes, then bring it out, sprinkle with some flour. Always sprinkle to ensure you achieve that smooth and fine puff sheet that we're looking for. So then you want to roll this out until it's nice and smooth, and we are going to trim the edges. And as for the texture, just make sure it's not too flat, like not too thin. We need it a little bit thick, but not too thick and not too thin. Not thin, not flat, not extremely flat. So just make sure it's a little bit thick. And once you have trimmed the edges, go ahead and slice into this very shape like you're seeing right now on your screen. And we are going to make 3 foldings on each sliced dough and then cut out any excess. And this is what we have: 1, 2, 3 foldings, and that's the shape we are going for. So we are going to repeat this until we are done with all the sliced dough, and then you want to transfer to your baking tray lined with a parchment paper. And as for the parchment paper, I used the parchment paper which I used in flattening the butter. That's the parchment paper I used on my tray. So if you're looking at it as if it's greased with oil, that's because of the butter we used it for earlier. Alright, so once you have lined them on the tray, just allow them rest at room temperature for 40 minutes or until they double in size. You can cover them or do not cover at all. This is how I left this at room temperature without covering it, and they doubled well. And as you can see, they are looking very beautiful. So at this point, you want to go ahead and preheat your oven. So I've preheated my oven to 180 degrees. So brush this with some egg wash. And for the egg wash, I used some egg yolk with a little bit of milk. Now brush it on the dough and then bake at 180 for 30 to 35 minutes or until they're nice and golden brown, just like this. They look so beautiful and super crust, very buttery. The flavor is heavenly. Like, my kitchen smells so good. And for the excess I cut out earlier, this is what I used them for. So I rolled them out, just, the remaining I just made different shape with them. That's what you're seeing right now on the second tray, and this is it. Our croissant is ready, looking very beautiful. You know what I love about this croissant? It's so flavorful with the buttery taste, so flaky on the outside, and the inside is soft. That is so light and very soft, and it's so delicious. So now all that is left is for you to grab your hot chocolate drink, cappuccino, and enjoy this homemade flaky buttery croissant. So delicious, and it's very, very flavorful. All right, so if you watched today's very point, thank you so much for watching, and thank you for your love and support, and actually appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to my channel, and please do not forget to share and also leave me a comment. Thank you all so much for watching. See you in my next video. Enjoy.